If you're new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and also hit the bell as well for new videos every day, every week.
What's going on, all of my fellow Joy-Con boys and girls? This is your boy, Nintendo Logan. We're once again back at it again here with once again another stream for you guys here. So as always, if you guys are brand new to the channel and are a big fan of Nintendo and Nintendo Switch 2, then never make sure you guys click that subscribe button and make sure you guys turn on that notification bell as well, so that you never miss out on all of the latest coverage here every single Wednesday through Saturday, mainly focusing on Nintendo and Nintendo Switch 2. If that is something that interests you guys, then this is the place for you guys, and really help out the channel a lot, and be a part of our amazing community that we have here on the Nintendo Logan YouTube channel as well. And so yeah, happy Friday to everybody tuning in right now to the stream. And no matter if you're watching live right now in the chat, or if you're watching this in general, or maybe watch it later on the replay as well, hopefully once again everybody's having a great Friday and a great start to your weekend. And as you guys all know, we are here once again to do another episode of our Friday morning show that we do every single morning on Fridays at 9:30 AM Eastern and 6:30 AM Pacific time, recapping all the latest news from the past week in terms of Nintendo, with Nintendo News Roundup once again. And can you guys believe it? This is our 80th episode of Nintendo News Roundup, which is pretty insane actually, how we're already on 80 episodes of Nintendo News Roundup once again. Like, when we started this all the way back in 2023, I really didn't know if we were going to get this far with our Friday morning show once again here. But thanks to a lot of you guys' amazing support for all the other previous episodes that we did of Nintendo News Roundup. This has been an absolute success, and I really do appreciate you guys for always taking the time out of your day to come spend time with us here and listen and recap, and discuss all the latest Nintendo news that has happened from the past week. Previous other times we did Nintendo News Roundup. But for this episode, we got a lot more great news topics we're going to be discussing for this episode of the show once again. So before we do get into it, if you guys are looking forward to today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup, make sure you guys smash that like button. And plus, if you guys also want to join our amazing Discord community as well, we'll have all that info in the description below. If you guys want to know how to join our Discord server, if you guys have not yet joined it and want to also become an official member in our Discord server, to not only be a part of our streams, but to also try to interact with us pretty much behind the scenes as well, what I still highly recommend you guys do. If you guys want to still be able to, chat with us when we're not really streaming either, behind the scenes as well, mainly on our Discord server as well. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to the Nintendo Logan Clips channel, Logan's Pokemon TV series review, the main Ultra Joy-Con game channel, and also Ultra Joy-Con game live, some of those channel links will be in the description below, as well as on the main page of our YouTube channel as well. And one more thing I do want to highlight for you guys here, right after this stream wraps up, make sure you guys stay tuned immediately after this one, as we're going to be doing the next episode of Pokemon Legends ZA on the Switch 2, which, we do got some news topics to discuss related to Pokemon, and especially for Pokemon Legends ZA during the show. But I highly recommend, once again, you guys do stay tuned, once again, after the stream wraps up, for the next episode of Pokemon Legends ZA. Which I just posted the link to that stream in the stream chat right now, so you guys can bookmark that page and make sure you guys come back for that. when it's time, when we sign off here and go live for the next stream here. But of course, if you guys are not doing that stuff, do not hit that like button either. Once again, Rachel Vizme is going to come out here and say, what's wrong with you? If some of y'all do not do that following stuff that I just mentioned to you guys here. So yeah, without further ado, before we officially do get started with today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup, let me make sure the audio levels are all good, and then I guess we're just going to go ahead and get started right now, so. Okay, looks like the audio levels are good, it looks like. Alright, I think everything else looks like it's all good too, from what I'm noticing on stream. Let's see. Let me see. No, we actually just were on Splatoon not that long ago, actually, like last Friday, actually we were on Splatoon. I don't know what you're talking about, I haven't been on Splatoon in a minute there. Because I recently just did it last week during our Friday Switch gaming stream. So. Let's see. Alright, but I think everything should be good right now. Audio levels are all good, and everything else on stream looks like it's all good there. So yeah, without further ado, let's not waste any more time, and let's get straight into all of our news topics that we're going to be pretty much discussing during today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup. And we're going to start it off with the first news item of the stream, and I've already kind of mentioned what the first few news items are going to be. And this one is related to Pokemon once again, well pretty much for the whole entire franchise itself, as apparently there is a huge leak going on the internet right now, where Game Freak listed a bunch of different upcoming Pokemon projects that are starting from next year in 2026, all the way up until 2030. So from next year 2026 all the way until 2030, all of the different Pokemon projects have been leaked for Game Freak, and some of these actually do make a lot of sense, and some of them actually do sound pretty interesting as well. So this information is coming from My Nintendo News, and they list all the info and all the different projects from this Pokemon leak from Game Freak. And so this is what the article says here from, once again, My Nintendo News. Game Freak has seen a hacker release the rest of the content they have previously acquired, and it shows the developers' plans all the way to 2030, which is sure to be a massive blow. The company has 3 mainline Pokemon games planned, but the most interesting of these is Project Seed, which will incorporate all the Japanese-based regions, which are Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. That's not all, as concept art has also leaked with some details, which unfortunately we're not going to show the concept art because, as we all know, if Pokemon Company sees that on this stream, they're immediately going to strike the stream down, in which we do not want that to happen, obviously. And so these are all the list of the different projects here, as I go over through them one by one. So for 2026, Gaia, which is Gen 10, releasing in 2026 with DLC planned for 2027. Image down below includes render on left and prototype on the right, which if you guys have already seen the leaks of that concept already. And I've already kind of seen it for myself, and it actually does look pretty interesting now. And another thing about Pokemon Gen 10, they're saying apparently it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive. So when Pokemon Gen 10 releases, it's going to be only a Switch 2 exclusive. So, unless by then Nintendo will not be, Nintendo's not going to be releasing the Switch 1 version of Pokemon Gen 10. It's like, if you want to play the next generation of Pokemon, you got to get a Switch 2 for it, if this actually does happen. And then we do take all of this with a huge grain of salt, actually, because we have absolutely no idea. And obviously no official confirmation about any of the stuff here we're mentioning. And then for 2027, yeah, 7, Ringo / Legends Galar, aiming for 2027 release. And they also do have a prototype and concept art for another Pokemon Legends game. Which is pretty crazy, honestly, because we just got Pokemon Legends ZA, and now already 2 years from now, we're supposed to be getting another Pokemon Legends game in the franchise, actually. Which is once again pretty interesting. And then in 2029, Seed, which is what we just talked about with Project Seed, a new kind of RPG that takes place in all of the Japanese-based regions in Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh, aiming for a 2029 release for Project Seed, which it also will be interesting how they're gonna end up doing that one as well. And it's also interesting how it's gonna be connected to all like the previous generations, from like Gen 1 all the way up to Gen 4 with Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh, like all the regions that they pretty much listed. So when it does happen, like I said, I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing with that. And then finally in 2030, we're going to have Pokemon Gen 11. So possibly in 2030 is when we're going to get Gen 11 as well. So pretty much those are all the Pokemon games that were pretty much leaked out from the big leak that came out from Game Freak. Well, not really from Game Freak itself, but a hacker was able to get all the data from Game Freak, listen to all these different Pokemon projects, release it from next year in 2026 all the way up until 2030. And it won't make sense to release Gen 10 next year because that is an anniversary for the Pokemon franchise. Which someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but if I had to guess, next year will be possibly the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise. So to release Gen 10 around that time, that would be a pretty huge deal, honestly. And get the next big mainline Pokemon title on the Switch 2 to, maybe push more Switch 2 units out there and maybe get some more Pokemon fans on the Switch 2 once again. That isn't once again, like I keep saying, if any of this stuff ends up happening once again. And like I said, for mainly the next Pokemon Legends game, which is pretty much the third one for all these different Pokemon Legends games, it will be interesting if it does release in 2027 because, like I just mentioned, we recently just got this game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, not that long ago, and we got another one in 2 years from now. That would be pretty insane, though, to be honest. But let me know what you guys think about all these different Pokemon leaks that pretty much did happen in the comment section down below. Which one of these are you guys mostly excited for if any of this does happen? And if any of these are standing out to you, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And once again, I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this once again. About the Pokemon leaks here. And alright, let's move on now to our next news item. And speaking of Pokemon Legends ZA, we have the Metacritic review score for Pokemon Legends ZA, since obviously the game recently just released this week. And if you guys want to know what the Metacritic score is for Pokemon Legends ZA, both on the Switch 1 and also on the Switch 2, it is staying at an 81. So Pokemon Legends ZA, both on Switch 1 and on Switch 2, the game is standing at an 81 score on Metacritic. Well, that's not that bad, honestly. Especially for a Pokemon game, not that bad, honestly. And I've honestly been really enjoying it from myself as well, from the little bit I've played of it so far. Would still highly recommend, if you guys have not checked out our first episode of Pokemon Legends ZA, I highly recommend you guys if you go check that out. Even though I do kind of ramble about dead VCs and dead chats and all that, but hey, we still had a lot of fun checking out Pokemon Legends ZA yesterday on the Switch 2. And on the Switch 2, it looks amazing now. 60 frames per second on a Pokemon game on console. Man, it's amazing now playing this game at 60 frames per second. No longer playing a Pokemon game on the Switch platform at 30 frames. But once again, Pokemon Legends ZA has a Metacritic review score of 81. So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you guys agree with Pokemon Legends ZA getting an 81 on Metacritic, or do you guys think it could have been higher or could have been a little bit lower? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And once again, I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this once again. And alright guys, the next news item, and this one also is a pretty big one, and I think at this point, it is obviously going to happen for sure here. Assassin's Creed Shadows, the official box art for Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2, has apparently been leaked out from a French retailer, and obviously at this point, with the full box art leaking out for the Switch 2, and we've also got a date for it as well, which we will get into that in a second, but as you guys can see right here, this is the official image of Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2, and look at that. You guys are going to be very disappointed about what you guys see at the bottom of that, right next to the Peggy rating. It is going to be a game key card. That is, once again, if this actually does happen, which, like I keep saying, and I know I keep repeating myself, at this point, it has to happen, honestly. If the box art fully leaked out there for this game, then yeah, it's probably most likely going to happen sometime in the future. Well, once again, this information is coming from My Nintendo News, and this is the information that we have for this here. And so, this is what it says here with the details. We know that Assassin's Creed Shadows will eventually launch on the Nintendo Switch 2, as the game was rated months ago. And now, a large French supermarket and retail chain has published the box art along with information that will be a game key card, as you might have suspected. when Ubisoft is planning to actually announce the game for Nintendo Switch 2 remains to be seen. But when they do, we will let you guys know whenever it does happen. So yeah, like I said before, and I don't know, I've obviously already forgotten that, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows is already tentatively rated for the Switch 2, like, months and months ago. Which I'm not really sure I think we might have talked about it during a previous episode of Nintendo News Roundup, but this is something that hasn't really been in the news for quite a little bit, actually. That's why I kind of forgot this even was the thing where, you know, they gave us you know, pretty much rated for the Switch 2 and whatnot. But I mean, the monster doesn't look that bad, though. I mean, obviously it's pretty much the same on the other platforms, but it's just crazy to see that we're pretty much getting closer and closer to possibly Assassin's Creed Shadows releasing on the Switch 2. But not only that, the release date has also been leaked out as well, which we're also going to be getting into that right now, actually. And this, once again, is a follow-up on my Nintendo News about the information that we just talked about here. With this time, the official, the possible leaked release date for this game on the Switch 2. And so, this is what it says here. Famed leaker and gaming insider Bilbo Kuhn, I'm not sure if I said that name right. If I didn't, I apologize, has revealed this afternoon that the well-received Assassin's Creed Shadows releases December 5th, 2025 on Nintendo Switch 2, which obviously that's not official confirmation yet until Ubisoft or Nintendo pretty much announces it. And it's not clear why Ubisoft has yet to announce its existence, as the game was ready for the platform some months ago now. There will be a physical edition of the game, which you guys have been seeing right here on the screen. However, it will be a game key card. So, and yeah, when I first heard about that leaked release date for Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2, with it being December 5th, I was like, wait a second, isn't there another game releasing the same week as if this game was going to be releasing? That being Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 is pretty much releasing on December 4th. And it'll immediately follow up with this game right after the big release of Metroid Prime 4 during the holiday season, and especially right before Christmas. That would be absolutely insane now. Metroid Prime 4 and Assassin's Creed, you know, competing against each other during the month of December. When Metroid Prime 4 releasing on December 4th, and then this game releasing a day after Metroid Prime 4 comes out, that would be absolute insanity, though. I'm not really sure if it would happen, but if it actually does, and whenever Nintendo or Ubisoft officially confirms this, I will be shocked if this actually does happen, and we'll have to see, I'll actually be interested to see how both of those games actually do sell. Well, I'm going to say Metroid Prime 4 is obviously gonna sell like big time during the time it comes out. But to have it like released like a day before Assassin's Creed Shadows on Switch 2, again, it would be something pretty interesting, and like I said, we'll never see when it ends up happening. So what do you guys think about all the information that was shared? Well, in this case, all of the leaked information for Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2, and you guys think at this point it will eventually happen, especially with the leaked release date, supposedly for December 5th, 2025. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would absolutely love to hear you guys' thoughts about this here. And alright, let's move on now to our next news item. And I know we've been talking about this a lot recently on the channel, and I was wondering what in the world is happening with the Switch 2 version of this specific game, actually, and why we haven't really heard like anything about an official release date or what's been going on with in terms of a Switch 2 version of this game that's already released on other platforms. And of course, obviously, I'm talking about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, as we once again have been questioning what in the world's been happening with the Switch 2 version of this game, and why haven't we gotten no release date for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds on the Switch 2. But it looks like we do have official confirmation coming from Sonic Team boss Takashi Iizuka, and he's pretty much talked about what's going on with the Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. And this once again is coming from My Nintendo News, and this is all the information that we have for this here. And so this is what the article says here. Sonic Team boss Takashi Iizuka has told a little about the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 version of the fun Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Iizuka says that the game will take full advantage of the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, but he wanted to be drawn into a discussion regarding both resolution and frame rate. Here's what Mr. Iizuka had to say when asked about the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Quote, "We wanted to release the Switch 2 version at the same time as other platforms," Sonic series producer Takashi Iizuka tells Traxion in a translated interview. But because the console's release date was later, we wanted to make sure we could provide a game that optimized the new console. As a result, extra development time was required to optimize the game for the Switch 2. When you look at the content that will be provided, there's no difference between the Switch 1 and Switch 2 games, says Izuka. As such, both versions will feature the same characters, locations, gadgets, and travel lanes. It won't be a 100% replica because of the differences in the hardware specs, Izuka adds, since it can take advantage of the more powerful hardware. This implies the Switch 2 version will boast enhanced visuals and performance over its Switch 1 counterpart. While Sonic Racing Crossworlds will utilize the full capability of Switch 2, Izuka want to confirm that this version is targeting a 4K resolution and 60 frames per second. So yeah, pretty interesting what they have to say in this official interview about what's going on once again with the Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Which does make sense once again, because if you guys got to think about it this way, the Switch 2 recently just came out, and it's still pretty much a brand new console. So it is going to take more time for these bigger third-party developers to be able to optimize and utilize some of these games for the Switch 2. Especially since, because of the dev kit situation and all these other different things that are happening with some of these third-party developers. Of course, obviously, Sega has a dev kit, like a Switch 2 dev kit already, from what it seems like. And even Sega has confirmed that Sonic Racing Crossworlds on Switch 2 is going to be a full game release on the cartridge on Switch 2. So, of course, Sega wants to make sure that the game is fully optimized and wants to make sure that it's able to take capabilities of the Switch 2 hardware itself. Which honestly, I still am really hoping at least. I don't care what the resolution is for Sonic Racing Crossworlds on Switch 2, but I'm keeping fingers crossed that it'll be 60 frames per second. If it's not 60 frames per second, I will totally be fine. I will totally be fine myself because I don't care about resolution and frame rate in my games. Just hopefully the game holds up pretty well, and hopefully it's not going to be the Switch 1 version where it does run at 30 frames per second and what's all blurry and whatnot, actually, if you're playing this game on Switch 2. But who knows, time out every time once again when the release date does happen for this game, but Sega, if you're watching this, take as much time as you need, make sure you guys fully optimize the game for the Switch 2, and make sure it's the best version of the game out there, compared to on the other platforms that are already released on. And so, what do you guys think about what Sega had to say officially about the Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Crossworlds? And of course, if you guys have any thoughts about it, let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section down below. And once again, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this once again. And alright, let's move on to our next news item, and we do got a couple game updates that recently just also released this week, which we're going to be talking about a couple of them. And the first one being for Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker on pretty much the Switch, like the Switch 1 and also on the Switch 2, as the game has now been updated to version 1.4.1. So if you guys have not yet updated Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on either your Switch 1 or your Switch 2, make sure you guys have to do so to make sure you guys are on the latest update for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. And all that pretty much has pretty much fixed was several issues have been addressed to improve the gameplay experience. So nothing really too big has been added for this update for Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, but of course, as we all expect from all these other different things that pretty much get updates for different Switch software and for the console itself. And so once again, make sure everything's all balanced out and people get the best gameplay experience. So once again, to let you guys know, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, both on Switch 1 and Switch 2, depending on when you guys, what platform you guys are playing the game on, is a new update is out for it right now with version 1.4.1. So, just want to real quick highlight that for you guys and to let you guys know, to give you guys a heads up about Captain Toad Treasure Tracker with this new update here. But that's not the only update that we have here. We also have yet another update for another Switch-specific game, and I feel like, in my opinion, those are some of the most random ones out there because Nintendo, we have not even heard anything about this specific game in quite a long time, actually, especially since after coming off of the Switch 1 generation. And that game being Splatoon 2. So Splatoon 2 did also receive an update with version 5.5.2. And there's a lot more interesting stuff that was in this new update for Splatoon 2. Basically, if you're playing this on the Switch 2 as well. Which honestly, I have not been on Splatoon 2 in a serious hot minute though, because I've been on Splatoon 3 a lot more nowadays. But man, just some memories on Splatoon 2 though. All those times I used to play this game on this channel, man, just like I said, the memories that we had on this game now. But this information, once again, is covered from My Nintendo News, and this is all the info that we have for the latest update for Splatoon 2 with version 5.5.2. And so this is what the details say here. The Mighty Splatoon 2 has randomly been updated today to version 5.5.2. This latest software update fixes an issue with league battles where both Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch 1 users were included in the 8 players who battled, and sometimes league power did not change after the battle. Thankfully, this issue has now been resolved, and you can now happily battle in league battles without issue. And so this is the official patch notes that we have here for this update. Fix an issue with league battles where both Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch 1 users were included in the 8 players who battled. Sometimes league power did not change after the battle. So, I'm not really sure how it all worked out with when the game originally released, and when you're playing with Switch 2 and Switch 1 users when this was originally a thing. Which I'm saying this has been a thing for all these other Switch 1 games. If you're playing with Switch 2 players, if you're a Switch 1 person playing with the Switch 2 players, we've obviously seen this happen a lot. Where there'll be certain bugs that would happen, especially with Smash Bros. Ultimate, where there was that bug with the Mii's where if you were playing them online, then it would just immediately end the match immediately. Only if you're playing online. And then it does seem like it was sort of a similar situation here with Splatoon 2 with the league battles. But thankfully, once again, Nintendo has pretty much patched it out, and it will no longer have any issues playing league battles with both Switch 1 and Switch 2 players. And so, once again, to let you guys know, Splatoon 2 has got a brand new update for version 5.5.2. So, if you guys have not yet updated Splatoon 2 to this latest update, make sure you guys have it do so. If you guys are still playing Splatoon 2, maybe for some nostalgia and all. So what do you guys think about this brand new update for Splatoon 2? And of course, if you guys have any thoughts about it, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And once again, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this once again. And alright, the next news item, and this once again is another rumor, so just like how I said with the Pokemon one and the Assassin's Creed one, make sure you guys hit this with a huge truckload of salt once again about Nintendo DS. Oh shoot. Wait, hang on, I think... Okay, we're back right now. Alright, so sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened there, but anyways, back to what I was saying here, if you guys didn't hear what I was saying. There's a new rumor about Nintendo DS possibly coming to NSO sometime in the future, and there's apparently a brand new patent that just released for possibly, something with Nintendo DS related coming to NSO sometime in the future, and, as you guys can see right here in the screenshot, and credits to Mike Odyssey YT on X, where he provided this information. And you guys can see right here all the different screenshots, which I will full screen some of these for you guys here. These are all the screenshots of the patents for possible Nintendo DS coming to NSO here. So this is what the information says from Mike Odyssey on X. Quote, Nintendo DS coming to NSO confirmed. Patent discovery of a lifetime. Breaking news. The following patent shows how Nintendo will manage the dual screen situation on Switch 2. You'll have 3 options. 1. Dual screen, parent screen and child screen. 2. Single screen mode, with this picture-in-picture. And 3. Switch mode, switch between screens. There you go. Thank you for properly crediting the discovery. And so if you guys don't know what Mike Odyssey is talking about, these are the different screenshots of the patents that were filed here. So there's this one right here, as you guys can see, and then we have this one right here as well. There's maybe like 3 of these, I think, or something like that. But it's pretty interesting that how they're pretty much patenting all this stuff here for possible Nintendo DS coming to NSO. Which I'm gonna say, I know lots of people really want to see Nintendo DS possibly come to NSO. Like again, I don't even know why this couldn't even happen right before we just got in Virtual Boy NSO. Well, this would have been a lot more interesting than having Virtual Boy NSO, honestly, because I know there's so much people out there that do want to see Nintendo DS come to NSO actually. Which with this patent, this possibly might actually lean more towards we're possibly going to get Nintendo DS coming to NSO sometime in the future, but we obviously really don't know yet, and so far it's just a rumor at the moment. But what do you guys think about this this brand new patent that's just been filed for possible Nintendo DS coming to NSO? And of course, if you guys have any thoughts about it, Let me know what you guys think about all these different patents in the comment section down below. And well, once again, I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts about this right here. And alright, the final news item that we have for the stream, and hopefully the stream doesn't get cut off while I'm mentioning this. But the last news item is, I gotta actually pull up the article actually, so we know what we're actually talking about. But the final news item is, Nintendo is looking to produce 25 million Switch 2s in a run-up to the Christmas holiday, which of course does make a lot of sense, because, and I mentioned this also in the past before, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be doing Christmas shopping, and there's going to be lots and lots of people, and a lot of kids out there, that are going to be asking their parents about getting a Switch 2 for Christmas and whatnot. So it definitely does make a lot of sense at this point, and I've already kind of seen this coming, when Nintendo released a bunch of more Switch 2 units to be ready for the Christmas holiday as well. And especially with this year being the Switch 2's official first holiday, pretty much out there in the market for the Christmas holiday season. And so this once again is coming from MyNintendoNews.com with all this information, and this is what we have here for the details about this. And so that's what the article says here. Nintendo is looking to ramp up production of its latest Nintendo Switch 2 console, and is targeting 25 million consoles in a run-up to Christmas and even into the new year. Bloomberg says that Nintendo is very likely to comfortably surpass analysts' estimates for sales of 17.6 million devices in the fiscal year, and is aiming to produce the most amount of units possible to satisfy consumer demand in the busy Christmas shopping period. So yeah, once again, like I already mentioned before, it does make a lot of sense. Like I said, this does make a lot of sense that Nintendo is going to be ramping up a lot of Switch 2 production to once again get a lot of Switch 2 units already out there in the market for people that want to get this thing for Christmas. Because I can already tell, this thing is going to absolutely sell during the holiday season. Because again, this is the Switch 2's official first holiday out there on the market at retails, at different retailers and all. And like I said, I'm already seeing this thing like fly off store shelves during the Christmas holiday. Because I know there's going to be lots and lots of people that are going to go out there and immediately get a Switch 2 for maybe their kids or maybe one of their family members that really want to get a Switch 2. But very right to see what they have to say about this here. And again, like I said, at this point, it does make a lot of... I mean, 25 million Switch 2s, that's pretty insane now, honestly. And pretty promising and whatnot, so... And so yeah, what do you guys think about Nintendo ramping up Switch 2 production for the Christmas holiday, pretty much this year? So of course, if you guys have any thoughts about it, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And once again, I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this once again. And alright guys, that is all the news items that we have for this episode of Nintendo News Roundup. So before we do wrap things up here, as always, we're right now going to go into the YouTube chat, and I want to see what you guys have to say about all these different news topics that we pretty much discussed throughout today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup. So of course, if you guys have any more thoughts about all the stuff we talked about in today's stream, let me know once again your thoughts in the chat once again while we're still live right here. So, and of course, if you guys are still enjoying today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup, make sure as always smash up that like button if you guys are once again enjoying today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup, and once again really help out the channel. Not only would help out the stream, but also really would help out the channel a lot as well. Which your guys' support is always amazing, and really still do appreciate it to this day. But anyways, let me go ahead and see what you guys are saying right now in the chat here. And like I said, I'm so excited about that cutoff right there. We were talking about when we were just hopping into the DS NSO stuff. Again, I don't even know what even happened, honestly, with my stream connection. But it looks like we're still pretty much good here, hopefully. But again, I really do apologize about that little cutoff there in the stream. But anyways, also shout out to everybody that's been in the chat with us here. Shout out to NNS Super Shadow. Also, shout out to NG Plays, definitely the homie, and who else do we have here in the chat? And also Noel Gonzalez. Those are the people that we had here in the stream, in the chat. So shout out to you guys there. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Let's see. It's a new Splatfest is Splatoon right now. Join Team Ghost. Well, I'm already kind of... Well, actually, I could join Team Ghost, but I've already kind of decided what team I want to go on for the Splatfest next week. I'm going to be going, once again, Team Zombie, actually. That was the team I was on for the previous other Splatfest. Once I will be streaming it, so make sure you guys do stay tuned next week where we're gonna be streaming the Splataway Splatfest and Splatoon next week. Well, I'm really interested to see what team is gonna win that this time around. Let's see. I accidentally set a dumb time limit on my phone, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm gonna add all your streams. Might have been on PlayStation. Lol. Hey, listen, I respect you right there. Even though we're mainly a Nintendo channel and whatnot, but hey, I still respect your opinion there, bruh. See, Splatoon isn't working for me right now for some reason. Oh, that's pretty weird. Let's see. See what else you guys are saying right here. See, I hate new Pokemon games, so my expectations are very low. Yeah, honestly, no. Mainly the Pokemon games during the Switch 1 generation, they really haven't been the... I know a lot of people say they haven't really been the greatest in terms of like how they run and whatnot. But like I said, Pokemon Legends ZA, it's been running really good on the Switch 2 specifically. The fact that it runs at 60 frames per second on Switch 2. See, Assassin's Creed Shadows, huge pass. It does. I mean, it does sound. It does. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. But it does sound interesting. It does sound like an interesting game, but I never really played an Assassin's Creed game before, and really haven't been really too much interested in it, especially since it's like a rated M game. But it would be a pretty big deal if it actually did come to the Switch too. That is, if once again, whenever Ubisoft, well, mainly Ubisoft has to announce it, but I bet Nintendo wouldn't even announce it too as well. But Ubisoft definitely has to mention something about it eventually, because they're the ones that made that game. So it's been a while since Captain Toad. Honestly, though, yeah. Yeah, even saying it was Splatoon 2 as well. Like, we've been talking about those games ever since, like, the Switch. Like, we have not talked about them ever since, like, when Splatoon 2 released, like, all the way back during the beginning of the Switch 1 generation. And especially when Captain Toad released back in 2018 on the Switch. So, man, those are memories of those games. Man, the Switch 1 generation was so lit, though, with those first-party titles. Especially since when the Switch 1 first came out. All those absolute bangers, honestly. See, I played Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Are you are ready to play? Yes or no? Well, unfortunately, Noel, I'm not a big Dragon Ball person, so for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, especially on the Switch 2, I'm passing on it, unfortunately. Because again, I'm not really the biggest Dragon Ball person. See, I'd rather get a Switch 2 during the holiday season, not Christmas. Well, yeah, I guess of all those times I mentioned, like, not how desperate you want to get a Switch 2 still to this day. I can definitely see that. Alright, but I think we're going to take about maybe one or two more comments here in the chat, and then I think we're going to probably wrap it up right here. So once again, if you guys have any more final thoughts about all the stuff we talked about on today's show, let me know your final thoughts in the chat here, because, like I said, we're going to take about one or two more comments, and then we're probably going to go ahead and wrap it up right here for the stream. But like I said, stay tuned after this one, immediately after. Like, after this stream wraps up, make sure you guys click on the link that I just sent you guys in the chat to make sure you guys tune in to our next stream we're going to be doing with the next episode of Pokemon Legends ZA. So, yeah. But once again, I am pretty curious to see what's gonna go on during episode 2 of Pokemon Legends ZA. But like, what's gonna be happening next in the game and all that stuff. Because I know one thing's for sure. I got that like whatever that one thing they mentioned, like the last time we were on Pokemon Legends ZA. Anyways, great topics. I'm hopping into VC now. Yeah, so if you guys remember in their Discord server, we of course will be hopping in the VC then. So if anybody's watching the stream that isn't in our Discord server that wants to hang out with us during Pokemon Legends EA, then I will be hopping in there during the next stream. But anyways, I think with that, I don't think there's much more else to talk about with all these different news topics that we talked about during today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup. So as always, if you guys have any more thoughts about all the stuff we talked about today, keep them in your thoughts in the comment section down below. Once again, I'll try my best to read all you guys' comments that you guys pretty much put in the comment section on the replay of this stream. But anyways, I think with that, that's overall going to do it for today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup. So shout out to everybody that came by for the stream. Thanks to everybody for watching. Really do appreciate it as always. You guys' amazing support. But of course, if you guys enjoyed today's episode of Nintendo News Roundup, make sure as always, smash up that like button on your way out. And if you guys are brand new to the channel too, make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you guys turn on your notifications. Tonight I'm going to send more upcoming episodes of Nintendo News Roundup every single Friday at 9:30 AM Eastern and 6:30 AM Pacific Time. But also keep up to date on more upcoming Nintendo and Nintendo Switch 2 content next time in the near future. But until then, that is overall going to do it from your boy Nintendo Logan, and I'm going to be signing off for the stream. But we will see you guys here in just a little bit for the next episode of Pokemon Legends EA. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't have any technical issues during that stream like this one. But anyways, peace out, everybody. Love you all. God bless. Have a great day. Watch your one-ups and be blessed. And we'll see you guys here in a little bit for the next episode of Pokemon Legends EA. So stick around for that, and we'll see you then. And may God bless you. What's up, Joy-Con gang? I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you guys want to stay up to date on more upcoming videos in the near future on the channel, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to be a part of our amazing Joy-Con gang community. Plus, also, be sure to enable that notification bell to all to be notified and not miss a single new upload on this channel every single week. And if you all also want to stay up to date on more upcoming events for this channel and even see some exclusive behind the scenes stuff as well, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at NintendoLoganYT for exclusive posts you will not see anywhere else on this channel in the future, from posting my amiibos or whatever kind of stuff you guys want to see on my Instagram, and especially in the near future, maybe do some live Instagram hangouts with you guys as well. And lastly, if you all enjoy all the moments that we have on the channel as well, make sure you guys consider checking out our Nintendo Logan Clips channel as well, which is pretty much our second YouTube channel, when we upload new clips on there every Monday and Wednesday, where you can check out all of our past funny and epic moments that I bet you guys will definitely enjoy for sure there, because we got a lot of funny clips on there once again. And of course, if you guys do none of that, as I always say, one person very in particular is going to be saying, what's wrong with you if you guys don't do none of that? And that's pretty much right to fees me. He's going to be telling you what's wrong with you until you do all the stuff you guys see on the right side of me here. And I do promise you guys that. So, alright, but anyways guys, so that's going to do it for your boy Nintendo Logan here for this video. And I'm going to be signing off for this video once again. So, I will see you guys in the next video. And peace out. I love you guys. God bless. And have a great day, everybody. Peace out, Joy-Con gang.